Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is more early footage taken from the public beta environment, the PBE server, from set 15. This was taken about 5 or 6 days before the set came out. In this game I'm going to be playing a double up game together with Headwinder, and we're going to be looking at a Supreme Cells team composition, one that plays through Darius and what's her name, Kaisa. I was going to say Akali. Akali is also a unit that has that trait, but she is not the featured unit in this video. Darius in particular has been very strong throughout most of the PBE cycle. He's actually eaten quite a few nerfs, and he's still very strong. And I suspect he's going to be a problematic unit all throughout the set, where he's either going to be like uselessly weak or extremely overpowered. It's probably going to flip back and forth as the set goes on. Now, you might have noticed that we did end up getting an artifact anvil to start out the game here, because whatever encounter we had is the one that gives everybody an artifact, and I decided to pull it immediately. And I see Silvermere Dawn here. This is an item that gives a humongous amount of AD, 110% AD, 50 armor, 50 MR, gains immunity to stun, and the holder's attack stun the target. However, it does set the unit at an extremely slow attack speed. A very unusual item. It actually can grief a whole bunch of units if you put it on a bunch of them. But it turns out that it's a very, very good item on Darius for reasons that will become clear as we play more of this game. So the instant that I see this, I immediately was like, I'm going to try to play into Darius in this lobby. Darius is a 3-cost unit. And so if you're going to play this team composition, you're going to be re-rolling for Darius, and you're going to be re-rolling for Kaisa. I also am picking up the Callistas here. I'm going to be sending them over to Headwinder because he is playing a Soul Fighter team composition. Not something I've had a chance to put on YouTube yet, but at some point, I will, sooner or later, I'll have a Soul Fighter game that I can put on here. So anyway, we have the Silvermere Dawn. It's an item that's very, very, very good on Darius, so we're going to be looking to go for that. I maybe would have gone for the Wandering Trainer and just played around the emblems, but I already have direction on what I'm going to do. I thought maybe Scapegoat as well, just an econ augment. And I was thinking maybe Keepers as well, because it's actually not bad for the team comp I'm trying to play into. But ultimately I was like, let's go with all that shimmers, because I'm hoping I can get a Collector. I think that would be pretty decent to have here for gold generating, and it also would synergize well with a Kaisa. And I do get a gold Collector here. So that's the item that I was looking for, hoping to find. Now I do need to find a Kaisa in order to play her. I don't have that yet. For the moment, I just kind of have a bunch of tanks here, and I'm trying to figure out what the heck I can do with these. I just have a 2-star Aatrox and then like some nonsense units around that. And I was like, I do want to level and play some of these units. I definitely want to play some of these. I don't have any Supreme Cell units aside from Kennen, but I'll go ahead and look to put some of these items on, I guess, a Nefiri for right now. That is a unit that I can look to send over to Headwinder later on. And I was like, okay, we'll put the Collector Rageblade Nefiri. Is this any good? I have no idea. I suspect probably not, but sure, why not? And look, I get a gold coin from the Collector getting the execute, and then I get another gold coin. Anytime you kill something with the Collector, it has a chance to drop a gold coin, and then I get another gold coin, and I was like, oh my god, 3 gold coins from the Collector on the first round? That practically pays for the darn thing in and of itself. I also should probably sell the Kale and one of these units just to get to 10 gold there, but I did not quite manage to get to the 10 gold. But what I really want is a Kaisa, and fortunately I'm going to get one here. So I'm going to go ahead and look to move these items over. I'll go ahead and sell that because I don't actually care about Nefiri, and we'll go ahead and put the Collector and the Rageblade on the Kaisa. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my power snack on here. And I'm looking at this. Maybe I should have taken the over 9,000. Each round gain a random permanent stat. But I take the one where attacks have a chance to grant gold. Or it's not they have a chance to grant gold. Every round you stack up attacks. And I believe it's after 85 attacks you get gold to drop. So this is a gold generating augment. After attacking 85 times generates a gold payout. So Kaisa's just going to stack this up, and this doesn't really do anything to make my board stronger, but it's going to give me more gold. So it's not bad to take this in the early game just to generate additional economy. Still, I do wonder if I should have taken that over 9,001, just because then I would get permanent stacking benefits on Kaisa throughout the game. Oh well, that was a possibility. All right, anyway, so I'm going to send the, the Callista over to Headwinder's board. I really should have picked up a Nefiri here, Because it turns out he ended up rerolling for Neferi. I also need to get Kennen on the board so I can put Supreme Cell trait in play. I think it takes me a minute to realize that I need to put the Kennen on the board, or I don't have the main trait that I'm going to be playing through in this game, which is Supreme Cell. But I think for some reason I didn't realize that I needed that. Yeah, I have a Gangplank on the board for Duelist trait. Kaisa's traits are Supreme Cell and Duelist, so she does get stacking attack speed on there. I was trying to decide if I was going to play into a bunch of heavyweight units for this game, and ultimately that was a direction I didn't end up going. There's kind of two ways you can play Darius. Is you can look to play more into Supreme Cell and more into Mentor trait, or you can look to play deeper into the heavyweight trait. But I would end up not going the heavyweight route. If you go that route, you would play Darius together with Jace, and you typically reroll for both of them because they're both 3 costs. But I did not go that route in this game. Good news is I do seem to have a pretty good econ start here since I'm already up at 20 gold, and I have found the Kaisa, so that's the unit that I was looking for. Now we have this carousel here. I'm actually going to be second pick here on the carousel. And I was looking at the carousel and I was like, all right, well, there's no Darius here. That's the unit that I most would have liked to have gotten. But there is a sword here. And I was like, I would have liked to have gotten that sword. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, there actually is a Darius here. I didn't think that I had a Darius on my board. But then Headwinder was like, actually, there is a Darius on that carousel. Why don't you just grab the Darius? I was like, yes, I will grab the Darius. Thank you. And that's great because now I can start having Darius scale up on my board as well. All right, so by putting Darius on the board, I will be able to get Supreme Cell trait in play. We will just move the Silvermere Dawn over to the Darius. And I should cover what specifically this trait does, Supreme Cell. It's a new trait here in this set. It has not been in any previous sets. It is most similar, I think, to the old Imperial trait from way back in the early days. I think Imperial trait was in, I believe it was in set 1, and I think it was in the first half of set 6, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm trying to remember this, but basically you identify one unit that is the Supreme Cell. All of the Supreme Cell units gain additional damage amp, but the one unit that does the most damage in the fight is identified as the Supreme Cell. That unit gets additional damage amp, and it also executes units on low HP. So the trait gives damage amp. The deeper you go in the trait, the more damage amp you get. And then the unit that deals the most damage is the Supreme Cell, who has extra damage amp and executes low health enemies. And oh my goodness, there's another Darius here. Okay, that is fantastic. That is definitely something we want. And the Kennen also will go on the board for 3 Supreme Cell. Now, if you can get up to 4 Supreme Cell, which requires finding a Kali, who is a 4 cost, or of course also having an emblem, as you see an Udyr pop up, Udyr is going to give me Duelist trait and also gives me, I believe, Juggernaut. Yeah, also gives me Juggernaut trait and Mentor trait. So he makes a lot of traits from my board. I actually have, I think, 5 traits in despite only having 4 units on the board. But anyway, if you can play deeper into this trait, then it will give, eventually, you can have 2 Supreme Cells if you find a Kali and play Supreme Cell 4. And that's pretty worthwhile to have. So you do really want to get Supreme Cell 4 in eventually, because then Darius and Kaisa can both be the Supreme Cell. Right now, it's Kaisa. You can identify which one is the Supreme Cell because they kind of glow. And right now, the Kaisa is probably more consistent because she's a backliner and she's less likely to get stuck on like tanks or that kind of thing. But long term, I'm going to want both of them to be. The Supreme Cell. And I'm going to be playing around the 2 of them. And this is, again, pretty standard if you play this build, is you play around the pair of Darius and Kaisa. As I said, you can also go the heavyweight route, and then you play around Darius and Jace and Kaisa. But I did not really end up seeing Jaces in this game. I also should have picked up a Callista here. I actually forgot that Headwinder was rerolling for Callista. He was rerolling for Callista 3-star. So I should have picked that up. I actually should have sent that over the Xinjiao. And I think I just forgot to buy this because... one thing about the new system in Double Up, oh, by the way, I also get double search here, which is fantastic. I'm going to Infinity Edge Kaisa and Darius. That's going to allow both of their abilities to crit, which is fantastic. But to get back to my previous point, the new canon system here in Double Up, this was a change made for set 14, although I wasn't playing the game during set 14. The new canon system where you send units back and forth to your partner, it has a 3-turn cooldown. That is a very, very short cooldown. So if you're playing a reroll build as we're both doing here. Headwinder is re-rolling for, as I said, Nefiri and Callista in a Soul Fighter board. That thing cools down super fast, so you want to have units ready to go. And I could have grabbed a Callista there and been ready to have Callista ready to go as soon as the Sen cooled down. So that's a bit of failure on my part. Yeah, he actually has 7 Callistas right now. So by purchasing that one, I could have taken him up to... how many more does he need? I could have taken him up to 8, which obviously would have been really nice. Okay, we're going to have an augment here. Let me cover what happens in the augment, and then I'm going to cover a little bit more about these 2 units specifically, because both Kaisa and Darius have kind of some unique properties that makes them stand out a little bit. They've also both been eating nerfs on the PBE, as I mentioned. Darius in particular has been running over lobbies. Okay, so we have some options here. It's definitely not Thorn-Plated Armor. This is an offensive-based team composition. Doesn't play through tanks. It's not mono regen. We're going to take Blood Rage. The units gain... that went by pretty fast. I didn't get a chance to see it. This one is one of the new augments, and I don't know it off the top of my head. So I'm going to look this up really quickly just so I can double check what this one specifically does. I know it's good on melee carries. Let's see, Blood, here it is, Blood Rage. Your units gain 5 to 35% damage amp based on their missing health. Maximum damage amp gained at 30% health. Okay, this actually works really well with the board that I'm playing here, because I already get damage amp from the Supreme Cell trait. This is going to give me even more damage amp. Potentially, I can get 50% damage amp from Supreme Cell 4, I think, gives like 50% damage amp to the Supreme Cell, or both of the Supreme Cells, because you get 2 of them. And then I can get as much as another 30% damage amp from this augment if the unit's getting low. So I could, in theory, be getting like 80% damage amp. Now remember, Darius attacks super slow because he's got the Silvermere Dawn, but he gets 110 AD from that item. And in addition to that, he has an Infinity Edge, so that damage can crit. If his ult crits... I mean, if he has, like, what did I say? He could potentially get as high as, like, 80% damage amp, and he has an insane amount of AD from that Silvermere Dawn, and his ult can crit. I mean, it just gets to the point where it's like, oh my god, does this guy hit really, really, really hard? Anyway, so more on Darius in a second. First, Kaisa. Kaisa is basically a backline caster. When her mana bar fills up, she shoots out different missiles. Because she is the Supreme Cell at the moment... or I believe she's the Supreme... It actually is going back and forth between Darius and Kaisa in these fights as far as which one's the Supreme Cell. But she has the chance to execute if she's the Supreme Cell. When units get low on health, they'll be executed. And she also has the Collector, which means that she also gets an execute from that as well. Now, how do those two interact? I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know how the execution chance on the Collector and the chance on the Supreme Cell, how that interacts with each other. I don't really know. But one thing that I do know is Kaisa has a passive whereby every time she kills a unit, she gains 1% AD for the rest of the game. So having Kaisa have an execute is very, very nice, because it means she's going to be taking some kills, and it also means she's going to be permanently stacking up AD. Now, it's not enough to win that round. I was on a nice little 4-match winning streak there, but I actually still have a board of all 1-stars. I have a Darius pair, I have a Kaisa pair, but I don't have, and I have an Udyr pair, but I don't have 2 stars of any of them. Still, it looks like I'm going to be able to get to level 7 pretty quickly here, and then I'm going to re-roll for more copies of each of these units, and I'm going to try to 3-star both of them, but I want to roll on level 7 because I want to try and hit that Darius. I actually think Darius is the more important of the 2 units to hit. Out of these units on the carousel, there wasn't really that much that I wanted here, so I was like, I'm going to go ahead and take the Rise. And this leads me into the decision that I'm going to look to try to play 4 Mentor in this game, because that's one of the routes that you can kind of play this into. I'm going to look to go the 4 Mentor route. And I went this way because I hadn't seen any Jaces yet. The other alternative was I was thinking maybe I go like 6 Heavyweight for the Darius, but I hadn't seen any Jaces yet. And if I'm not going to like roll for 3-star Jace, there's not much point in trying to play the Heavyweight version of the comp. So anyway, I picked up Rise, and I'll try to play through Rise. I'm actually hoping I can get like a glove here, and I might be able to make a Hand of Justice, because I do want one other item that's going to give Darius some more lifesteal, and there would be some nice crit synergy if I did that. Now, here's one of the gift rounds in Double Up. One of my, I actually like most of the stuff that they have in Double Up right now, but the one thing I do not like is the gift rounds. The gift rounds are too strong. This gift round gave me 4 4-cost units. I had the choice between, I think, 18 gold, an item anvil, or 4-cost units. And I was like, I'm going to take the 4-cost units. I was actually fishing for a Kali here, because I could have played 4 Supreme Cells if I got that. But instead I get another Rise here. I sold the other 3 for 12 gold, and then I get another Rise. So I actually have a Rise pair in this game right now, which is quite nice to have Rise pair this early. And that's going to make it very easy for me to get 4 Mentor in. I'm just going to have to find Yasuo and Kabuko. I had Kabuko earlier. I've actually gone past some Kabukos. Can Kaisa get off one more cast? No, not quite. Again, my board is still all 1-star units right now, so I really shouldn't be winning here. And Kaisa's power-up is one that gives her an econ advantage. It doesn't actually give her combat power, but that's helping us try to get to higher tier units. And then look at this. Champion Duplicator and 10 gold. Artifact item, 3 5-cost champions. Like, these gifts are just too strong. It's too much of a party element. I really wish these were not in the game. But Headwinder said he wanted the artifact item, so he's going to take that and play around it. Now I have a chance to pick a power-up for Darius as well. I'm going to take the one on the right, gain Omnivamp and crowd control immunity for 15 seconds. Omnivamp is great on him. More lifesteal is just fantastic. But the big thing is the crowd control immunity. Now he can't be CC'd at the start of the fights, and that's just huge. So there's a Kabuko. Now I just need to get in a Yasuo to play 4 Mentor on this board. Okay, so I hit the 2-star Darius, I hit the 2-star Kaisa. My board should be much stronger right now. Kaisa's fully itemized. Darius has 2 out of 3 items. As I said, I don't have to worry about like a Quicksilver Sash. He can't be CC'd. So now I want like a Bloodthirster or a Hand of Justice or something like that for his last item. Darius essentially has his ability back from set 9 and also from set 3, the space-based set. When his mana bar fills up, he casts his ult, and if he kills the target, he casts again. Now, he casts again with damage reduced, but he will cast again, so he can theoretically just reset and Goomba Stomp people the entire time. And you can see there, he got off, like 2 casts in the fight, but he still killed, like, the whole enemy team. Any reset-based champion is always going to be a balance problem, and Darius has been a humongous balance problem on PBE. As I said, he's already eaten a whole bunch of nerfs, and it's still he's still too strong, honestly. All right, here I'm going to find a set and send that over to Headwinder. I had not done as good of a job of using the sends on cooldown here, but then I find a Samira, so I'll hold that as well. It's going to be 5 rounds until I can send again, but I might as well hold. And there's another Darius, and there's another Kabuko, so we really just need to find Yasuo to get 4 Mentor in, and then we also need to find the Akali, so I can play the 4 Supreme Cells, because right now, the Kaisa and the Darius trade the Supreme Cell back and forth between them. Once I have that, I'll just have it on both of them permanently. These items, though, are not it. I don't want a tier and a rod. Now I have 2 tiers and 2 rods. By the way, I'm going to take out the Aatrox. That cost me Juggernaut trait, but it gives me the 4 Mentor. More on 4 Mentor in a minute. Unfortunately, I can't really hold more Samiras because I can only send 1 at a time, and you can't send 2-star units anymore. By the way, I'm going to reforge the rod, and oh no. 3 tiers. I don't want 3 tiers. This is not a spellcasting comp, so I do kind of the only thing I can realistically do, and stuff 2 of them as a blue buff on Rise. I mean, it's not a bad Rise item, but like this is not the item I wanted to make. Anyway, the real focus is on Darius and Kaisa. They're both, Darius is jumping around dunking people, and Kaisa's executing people. So, yeah, somebody was way up in the air. I don't even know what that unit was, but we pretty effortlessly cut through that board. And I'm just hanging out here trying to 3-star these units. I do wish I had some more Kaisas. I'm only on 3 Kaisas, which is a little low for this stage of the game. I could take malicious monetization and just try to get a whole bunch of gold to reroll for these units, so that's a possibility here. I was going to take Trifecta. I was like, oh, 3-cost champions. They get stronger, great. But then I was like, oh, but wait. Heroic grab bag, 2 lesser champion duplicators. I was like, I think I need this to hit the Kaisa. I'm having trouble hitting the Kaisas. I think I need this if I'm going to hit Kaisa. And it also does give me 13 gold to roll. All right, well, that gets me to 6 Dariuses. So that's really nice. I'll pick up the duplicators. There's Akali. So I was like, let's see. There's another Darius coming over from Headwinder. Thank you very much. And I asked him here, do you want me to hold Samira or do you want me to hold Set? And I believe he said he wanted me to hold the Set over the Samira. So I believe I sell the Samira and hold the Set. And there's 2 Yasuos. So I was considering, do I take out one of these mentors and play Akali for 4 Supreme Cell? I think in retrospect, it would have been better to play 4 Supreme Cell and just take out Probably the Yasuo, because I would lose the 4 mentor bonus if I did that, but I think having 4 Supremes sell in would be better, because that would be more damage amp, and it would also mean that both Darius and Kai'Sa are the Supreme sell. By the way, there is a cash payout from the Kai'Sa. I get some additional gold from her. She's not a great user of this because she doesn't auto-attack that much, but yeah, it's giving me some additional econ, so it's not the worst thing in the world. And again, I'm trying to roll down here. I want to hit some more of these units. Now, I could, in theory, re-roll for Yasuo 3-star and Udyr 3-star as well, but I don't think I'm going to have enough econ for that. And in fact, on top of that, I don't really have enough bench slots for that either, because like I'm running out of bench space right now for me to do that. It's more important just to focus on the Kai'Sa and the Darius. I believe that Headwinder had another Kai'Sa that he was getting ready to send me. Either a Kai'Sa, another Kai'Sa, or another Darius. So I'm getting very, very close here. And then as soon as I hit these units, I can level to level 8, and I can put in the Akali, and then that's pretty much my board. Anyway, mostly the Darius is still dunking people. He didn't do so well against the mech there, but he's certainly doing well against... Oh, he almost killed the mech. He did almost all the damage. Got it low. Kai'Sa not quite able to finish that off. That board's been very strong throughout the game. They hit a 3-star Lucian very, very early on, and they've kind of been win streaking off of that. Fortunately, Headwinder has been win streaking as well. He hit the Kalista 3-star and the Fury 3-star pretty early on, and he's just been playing through those units, and he's been win streaking here. But again, my board is getting there. I have 7 Dariuses and 6 Kai'Sas, and I have 2 duplicators, so I'm about to hit those units, and then I should be able to start popping off. I wanted a glove here because I wanted to try to make the Hand of Justice for Darius, but that gets taken, unsurprisingly. It's on a Seraphine. Somebody wants that for a Star Guardians board. So I'm going to take the sword instead, and that's not bad. This can be half of... Hopefully this is half of a Bloodthirster. If I can't get that, I could maybe do half of Edge of Night. In a worst-case scenario, it could be a Shojin for... could be like a Shojin for Rise, but I really don't want to... I really don't want that. All right, that's good, though. I get another... another Kai'Sa there? So now I'm on 7 Kai'Sas. And there's another Darius, and I was like, okay, I have another Kai'Sa that's about to come from Headwinder next round, so I'll use 1 duplicator now on the Darius, and then I have another Kai'Sa coming next round, and on that round I'll duplicate the second Kai'Sa, and we'll be set. So now I have Darius 3-star. Yep. Remember, this guy is immune to crowd control, and he gets Omnivamp because of his class tag. He's tagged as a fighter, which means he has innate Omnivamp. And he gets more from his ult. He actually has 30% Omnivamp right now, and that goes up over time. Now, he attacks super slowly, but his dunks... Boop! Did you see he one-shot the mech? Yeah, he killed the mech in 1 hit. And he can't be CC'd. He is immune to crowd control. And he is doing that. Yeah, this unit is a little overtuned. This unit's a little overtuned at the moment, and that's not even with 4 Supreme Cells in yet, so yeah. All right, the cannon has cooled down, and I'm going to send the, the set over to Headwinder's board. That's going to make 2-star set for him. He sends the Kai'Sa over to me, and go, Lesser Duplicator, go. So I think I made really good use of those Lesser Champion Duplicators, and now I have 3-star Kai'Sa as well. I actually want to swap out which power-up Kai'Sa has, but I think I was trying to get 1 more cash out on her gold, her gold collector thingy. I think I want 1 more of those before I swap her power-up to a new one that's a little bit better. Because, as I said, the one she has is basically just a gold-generating power-up. So, yeah, my board has come together. This is pretty much the whole board. And, yeah, Darius is out of control. I mean, Kai'Sa does a lot of damage, too, but she's no Darius. This Silvermere Dawn interaction with Darius is just absolutely broken. If he gets this artifact item and he has Infinity Edge and then just lifesteal so he doesn't die, he's just going to dunk like the whole enemy board, and it's not going to be especially close. Well, one team's already out of the lobby, another team's on 2 HP, so it looks like it's just going to be us and this one other team for a long, long time yet to come. So we were like looking around, I was like, are they trying to 3-star any like 4 costs? And I was like, it doesn't look like it. They're not really close to 3-starring any 4 costs, so that's good news. We don't have to worry. Hopefully we don't have to worry about anything along those lines. So I'm just going to get back up to 50 gold, and then I'm just going to go to level 9, and I'll just play another unit here, because why not? I can just shove another 5 cost on my board and look to go from there. Okay, so the other thing I'm hoping for here is I really, really want a cloak, because I want Bloodthirster on Darius. That's like the last item I want. I get another tier. I was like, oh my god, another tier. What the heck? I was actually trying to trade a tier to Headwinder, but he didn't have any item components left over. I was going to trade him a tier for something else. I was like, oh my, this is absurd. But the cloak is there, so I will make the Bloodthirster. And now I have another pair of tiers with like no way of doing anything else. I was like, all right, fine. We'll just do double blue buff. We'll just do double blue buff, I guess, because I don't have anything else. Yeah, I was trying to see if I could get like the cloak from him, because I would have liked to have done an adaptive helm, which I think would have been definitely better, but he just didn't have anything left over. So I was like, all right, I guess we'll do double blue buff. I ended up getting 4 tiers in this game, and the Reforger I used also gave me a tier. I was like, okay, whatever. Sure. All right, Rise, have lots of mana regen. This is actually not even good on Ryzen, because apparently when he's using his ability, he's actually apparently mana locked while he's using his ability. He actually does not generate mana while he's casting. So this is really not a good Rise item at all. But you got to do what you got to do. I end up with way more tiers than I wanted in this game. Anyway, Darius is just absolutely annihilating this lobby right now. And again, Kaisa picks up a couple of kills because she does execute people with her collector back there. Anyway, I guess we at least have 2-star Rise. And every time Kaisa gets a kill, she permanently gets 1% more AD, so that's pretty nice. Now, the other trait I'm playing through is for Mentor, and that deserves a word here because that's the route I went to. I'm about to get another, I think, gold drop here from Head. Where do I get an item anvil here? What do I get? I got a random item. It turned out to be an Archangel Staff, so even more AP for Rise. He has 13 mana regen per second. Okay. Anyway, so as I was saying, Mentor trait. This is very similar to Emissary trait from set 13. The Mentor units give a team-wide bonus if there's one of them in. If you put 2 or 3 of them in, they do not give any bonus at all. So it is a trait where you either play one of them or you play all 4 of them. And I have all 4 of them in. Interestingly, though, when you have all 4 of them in, it does not give a bigger benefit to the whole team. No, what it actually does is it gives the Mentor units extra abilities. They all like upgrade their abilities and get stronger. And I do not know off the top of my head what they all do. To some extent, it doesn't really matter what they all do because Darius is just dunking everyone in like the first 10 seconds of every fight. But if these fights would ever drag out, it could be more important. But my understanding is they just all get upgraded abilities. And the team does get the benefit from all 4 units, but you don't get like doubled benefit the way you did from playing 4 emissaries back in, or is it, I think it's the Mentor units themselves. I don't know. It's something like that, but playing the 4 Mentors doesn't give a big bonus to the rest of the team. The benefit is like mostly limited to the Mentor units themselves, but I don't have enough understanding of how their abilities upgrade to say for sure here. So anyway, I get another Rise. I was like, okay, I already have 4 Rises. It's only 5-3. I was like, I think I'm just going to go to level 9 and I'll just slow roll on level 9 and try to like hit some of these units. See if I can maybe hit like 3-star Rise or something, and like I'll roll for 5 costs. But I can just afford to slow roll on level 9 because like we have tons of health here and my board is winning pretty easily. I do need to start positioning the Darius though, because we're down to just one other team in the lobby, so we know who we're going to be up against in every single fight. And anytime you have a melee carry like Darius, it actually is very important that you position. Wow, Darius got a crit on his auto attack. He didn't even have to use a dunk to kill those units. All right, well, he dunked something and resets and resets and resets. And it looks like Akali or Kaisa got a couple other kills. Yeah, 7,500 damage Kaisa, 6,500 damage Darius. Very, very good stuff. So that board is playing a mech board, and then the other player is playing a... what is the other person playing? Are they Star Guardians? I think they're a Star Guardians team, the other person here. This is kind of interesting because we have a whole bunch of emblems here. There's not really any items I want that badly, but like there's emblems galore. So I was like, all right, I think I'll just take this Juggernaut emblem and try to do something with it. Like just stuff it on a random 5 cost or something because it'll make them a lot tankier. And who is my Juggernaut on the board right now? I think Udyr is my Juggernaut that I have on the board right now, if I remember correctly. And I think I ended up grabbing this set here, and I think I ended up sending it over to Headwinder because he's already on 4 sets, and that gets him to 5. I should have grabbed this other set as well because that would get us to 6. I can't remember if I did that or not. Well, in any case, he sent me a Lee Sin, and I am going to put that unit on the board. And I think I'm going to make Lee Sin. I believe I make Lee Sin into an Executioner. Lee Sin's trademark is he gets to pick one of 3 different traits. Now, Executioner trait, not super helpful for me here. The unit that has Executioner on my board is Rise has Executioner trait. And then, what is it? I picked up another one with the Lee Sin. And do I have another Executioner? I can't remember. Well, in any case, yeah, we're still beasting this board pretty easily. Yeah, that's Star Guardian board. It's one player is Star Guardian, and one player is the other player is Mech. Is the two opponents that we have here. But yeah, I should have picked up this set just in case it cools down. I did pick up the set. Very nice. Because we now have 6 sets between us. And I'm just going to let my gold go back up to 50 gold. I could roll down to 0 gold here, but there really doesn't seem to be much point. And did I finally remove Kaisa's power-up? Okay, I probably waited a little too long for that. Let's see if we can get her something better. I was like, I think I'll take this one. Gain attack damage. All other sources of AD give more. And that's because there's attack damage on the Infinity Edge. I believe there's attack damage on the Collector as well. I think the Collector is AD and crit chance. I'd have to double check the stats on the Collector. Let me just double check what the stats are on the Collector. I thought that also had attack damage on it as well. Let me just see. The Collector. I'm looking on the cheat sheet here. Collector. Gold Collector, it gives... Yes, it gives AD and crit chance. I was right. Okay, sometimes I'm wrong on those things. But yeah, I have AD coming from the Collector. And by the way, look how low Darius gets here. But, oh, there we go. Kaisa clutches it out. Yep, Kaisa's still important in these fights, even with the Darius. Still important in these fights. So I'm able to win that round. And it feels like we're super late in this game. We're actually only just beginning stage 6. One thing about these double up lobbies is it seems like the tempo is very high paced in these lobbies. People get knocked out very quickly. It's actually pretty rare for these to go to stage 7 anymore. But yeah, we're trying to hit one more Xinjiao for headwinder because he's on 8 of them. And we're trying to see if we can maybe do 3-star set, 3-star rise. I mean, we might as well. Like, we're not in any danger of dying anytime soon here. We have tons of health. So as I said, I'm just going to go to 50 gold and just like stay above 50 gold and slow roll. We do have to watch out for the Poppy because that other team is stacking Poppies. So anytime we see a Poppy, we're going to take them out of the pool. And I believe Headwinder had one in his shop. So if we can just deny 2 Poppies. All right, there's another set. And like, I actually have yet another set, but the game will never last long enough for me to send 2 more sets. So there's no point in holding that unit, unfortunately. All right, so now I need to pull this artifact anvil, or normal item anvil. I also would be nice to try to find another Akali. If I could 2-star Akali, she does still get additional stats from Supreme Cell trait, even if she's not like the Supreme Cell. But I'm looking here and I'm like, all right, I mean, I guess I'll take another Rise item. I was a little slow in clicking on that. So I'll go ahead and put the death cap on Rise because he does not need double blue buff. That's excessive to have the double blue buff. So anyway, this time I have the Star Guardian board. And once again, I just need Darius. Oh, he gets low, but look at his lifesteal. He's healing for 1,000 health on every ult. That's utterly insane. He was healing for 1,000 health on every single ult. That's wild. So anyway, we're going to win that. And I was trying to buy Seraphine to deny it to that Star Guardian team, but I didn't think we needed to do that. I should probably just roll down to 0 gold here because this is like potentially the very end of the game. I also could have played Yone here. I was going to play either Yone or Lee Sin, whichever one I hit more copies of. But I don't think that I ended up getting 2-star versions of either of them. But yeah, I really probably should have just rolled down to 0 gold here and see if I could hit the remaining units I was missing, or at least tried to 2-star like the Lee. I probably should also put these items on Akali, not on Lee Sin. All right, so yeah, I go up to 6 rises. So I was like, okay. Well, that's not bad. Oh, you know what it was? I was waiting to see if I could 2-star the Akali. If I could 2-star the Akali, I was going to move some of these items over to her. But yeah, I have 6 rises, and like we have tons of gold to roll with, so we're not in any particular danger of losing here. All right, Darius. Oh, Darius hit the Zanya's Hourglass while it was active. Oh, that's a bit of a tough break in this fight. He's still dunking people, but he doesn't have quite enough to get the execute, and oh, Lucian actually finishes off my Kaisa there. But Headwinder won the other side of the matchup, so we ended up winning anyway, and that's the end of the game. It was funny because I had won like 8 rounds in a row, and then I finally lose one, largely because Darius wasted an ult on the Zanya's Hourglass activating over there. But then I won all those rounds, and I lost the final round of the game. But like we were in a very, very comfortable position there, with us getting close to some 3-star 4 costs and also having tons of money in the bank that we still could have used to roll with. But anyway, fun game there. Glad I got to demonstrate this. Silvermere Dawn Darius is very, very overtuned. He just absolutely shredded this lobby. And yeah, the Kaisa was strong as well. And I'm glad I got to showcase this board because it was really terrorizing the PBE for quite a while. Well, anyway, once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this game. Until next time, take care, folks, and I'll see you again soon.